Welcome to Reread. We're on book 5 of the Young Jedi Knight series. This one is called Darkest Night. Oh, and it's dark with a K. Of course, it's about Zek. But it doesn't really focus on Zek. In fact, I thought it did a lot more. Yes, he's leading an invasion onto the planet Kashyyyk to grab some technology. Tamith Kai doesn't really trust Zek. She doesn't think he's fully gone over to the dark side, which he hasn't. Berkiss is just looking for any star pupil because it makes him feel good. And he's like, oh yes, he is. And if you're reading this without knowing the expanded universe, as a kid, you're probably not missing a bunch of meaning here. But as an adult, you may be thinking, how can Berkiss, how can Tamith Kai see right through Zek, but Berkiss can't? Well, when you read that back, you look back at the chronology, Berkiss isn't that strong either. He's not that good. He's just a big pretender. He's wishing he could have students that could go up against Luke Skywalker. He's fooling himself because he is himself a fool. And again, whether Kevin J. Anderson meant to do that or not, I don't know. But for me, I could easily tell that. I thought it was just great. But it doesn't really focus on Zek that much, even though it is about, he's the title of the book, Darkest Night. And I was really hoping, and for some reason, maybe I misremembered, obviously, but I thought this was the part where it turns him super evil. This is where he decides he's clinching onto the dark side. He hates Jaina and Jason, but he doesn't. He kind of lets them get away, lets them escape, and then tells Berkiss that he killed them, and he's just hoping they'll stay away and stay out of his way so he can do this for the Shadow Academy because he feels like he has a purpose now. So Zek still isn't falling to the dark side. He's still kind of, walking in the gray, more toward the light a little bit. And again, it's not your generic kid goes over to the dark side because of a misunderstanding or just because it's, teenage angst. And then he comes back into the light, even though, of course, they're still under siege. Now, of course, he's going to run into Jason and Jaina because this is the part, since the last book dealt on Tenel Ka, this book kind of deals on Lubaka. One of his friends died in the forest of Kashyyyk. I think it's his sister who's kind of mourning the loss, and he wants to go and mourn. So, of course, all the kids go with him, and Chewbacca takes him over to the planet. And Chewbacca and Jaina are working on their ship, and Jason and Tenel Ka and Lubaka are there for Lubaka, and it's supposed to be exploring the world of Kashyyyk. But basically, it's moving pawns in all pieces on the board so they can encounter Zek. That's really what it is. It's kind of like the most forced, convenient moment in the galaxy ever. But again, this is supposed to be Lubaka's book. Does it feel like a book from Lubaka? No, not really. There are some Lubaka moments, but overall, they didn't really pull me in. It didn't really pull me in. I don't know why that is. I did enjoy lightsabers a lot. This one so far has been the weakest one of the original 6. Now, of course, for this video, I haven't read the last one of the first story arc, but this is the weakest one so far. And like I said, it should have gone to Zek a little bit more. On the other hand, one thing I did think was cool is that Han and Luke go on a scouting mission for Leia. And that's it. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what it's about. Maybe there's rumors about this Empire coming out. Oh, by the way, the Empire, this is such a contradiction in the EU. Because of, just how Hand of Thrawn duology happened, the Empire is not looked at. You can't, in your mind, someone's trying to tell me, oh, you could say they're talking about the Second Imperium the whole time. No, they're talking about the Empire. They say the Empire and the Second Imperium have always been evil, and they've always been against us. And it falls in line more with the Bantam books that say the Empire is basically dead and gone. Like, they're not coming back. They're a fraction of what they were. Let's just say it falls in line with the Hand of Thrawn duology. But to say they're at peace, and to actually have Luke Skywalker's big, we shouldn't be calling the Empire, villains now. We should look on them as friends, or whatever speech he gave during Union. Out the door on these books. And again, Kevin J. Anderson didn't know, but again, I don't think Timothy Zahn gave him that plot point. I don't think he did. And I definitely think Timothy Zahn didn't bother reading young adult books because he doesn't care about any story but his own. Either way, Berkiss is getting suspicious about the Emperor. The Emperor has come to the station finally, but Berkiss isn't allowed to see him. In fact, he's only been able to see Imperial Guard. And this is where you know something's up. And even Berkiss is like, something's up. Now, he hears the Emperor's voice, and at the end, the Emperor comes, a hologram form of him appears and tells Zek, good job. Now it's time to, sack the Jedi Academy, which is what this is all a to be continued one. that the Shadow Academy versus Luke's Jedi Academy is going down. There is one awesome scene during the Battle of Kashyyyk, which there have been tons of battles of Kashyyyk now that I think about it. Those people, that poor planet can't find peace. Some of the Dark Jedi, one of them, Vonda, let me see, I think I wrote her name here. Yeah, Vonda Ra. She and Lobaka's sister or friend, I can't remember now, fall into this plant that swallows them whole. And so the plant supposedly is very strong and very thick. If Lobaka hits a lightsaber in there to try to cut him out, he may cut them as well. And the plant kind of squeezes and suffocates its whoever's inside of it. Well, some quick thinking by the Dark Jedi unleashes force lightning upon the plant. And they can see from the inside, it looks like there's lightning going off in it. They can see, kind of like the shadows and light creaking from it. And then it surprises the plant. The plant opens up for a minute like, ow. Well, very quickly, Loey and them swoop in and grab the girl Wookiee. Meanwhile, because the Dark Jedi has kind of gotten weak by shooting off so much power, when Vonda Ra tries to get out, the plant just closes back up and then squeezes really tight as they see a little bit more force lightning as the Dark Jedi is trying to get out, but then eventually nothing. It goes dark. It killed her. Ooh, it's a brutal scene. It's a violent scene. Honestly, it's the most violent. Zek cutting someone in half from the last book holds nothing on this one. This one is, when I just realized, because it shows it says like the plant muscles just grip together, and it's just like a venomous grip, and suddenly the black lightning just smothered out to nothing. And the Dark Jedi was dead. I was like, woo, harsh. What a way to go, man. So that was actually, there were some good scenes. The fight scenes on Kashyyyk were pretty good. They try to steal back the Shadow Chaser. This is the vehicle that Luke and the rest of them escaped with the Shadow Academy with in Book 2, but they were unsuccessful there. A lot of unsuccessfulness on Tamith Kai's side of the deal, but for Zek's mission, of course, he lied to Brakis about killing the twins. It's been a success. And of course, the Emperor says, my darkest night, you knew you'd do well. Now let's attack the Jedi Academy. And so that's where it's all leading up to. One big, what we thought at the time, was the final book in the series. And what was that like? Well, I'll talk about it next time.